Church hurt is real. Unspeakable church hurt like SA and CSA first reared its ugly head in the Catholic Church several years ago. The reality of church hurt is that it is widespread across all denominations. No denomination is immune to causing it. People are hurt in Catholic churches, Baptist churches, Mormon churches, and Kingdom halls, among others. Unfortunately, as long as there are people involved in churches, there will be people hurt by church members and church leaders. To be clear, I did not leave the church or begin my deconstruction from Christianity because of church hurt, although I have experienced many forms of church hurt over the years. Last week, I covered the reality of deconstruction. This week, I am covering the reality of church hurt. Hi, I'm Garth, former worship leader. I'm now an agnostic atheist, and I'm your host of Faith Challenged. Church hurt, as explained by Google AI Overview, refers to emotional, spiritual, or physical pain inflicted by church leaders or members, often involving abuse of power, toxic environments, or doctrinal manipulation. As I alluded to in my opening, if you have been involved in the church for any length of time, the chances are good that you have been hurt in some way by church leaders or other members of the church. Honestly, the same can be said if you are a member of the Rotary Club, Lions Club, etc. Again, when people are involved, there will be hurt. Notwithstanding the reality that people are hurt by others, no matter the reason for the group, in today's Discord, we will be discussing church hurt, and it is very real, so that's why I'm covering it today. Unlike groups like the Rotary Club and the Lions Club, the church is different. The church has expectations that are based on man's interpretation of Scripture. Quite often, the church makes demands of its members that are unrealistic and difficult to follow. Sometimes these demands are harmful in and of themselves. Church members believe, and churches often teach, that salvation depends on adherence to church expectations and church attendance. To the faithful, their identity is often closely tied to their church. Church hurt is personal, and we all react to it in different ways. People are hurt in all churches and denominations. However, as I was a Christian, I am only qualified to speak in terms of Christianity. So-called Christians have hurt me often and in many ways. While I recognize the hurt as it was happening, I didn't understand the extent of the abuse. Inversely, I know that I have hurt people in the name of Christianity. This was and is not acceptable. If I have hurt you in the name of Christianity, or if I have hurt you for any reason, I am so sorry. I may have recognized church hurt in real time, but it wasn't until I removed myself from the church that I began to realize how much church leaders and other church members had hurt me while I was a Christian. The videos that I have created for Faith Challenged are designed to be a resource for those who are struggling with their faith and for those who have realized that what they have been brought up believing is simply not true. As I am still hurting, my first thoughts were of anger and disdain when I thought of all the ways that I had been hurt by the church. I was thinking that I would give a laundry list of how I have experienced hurt. Thankfully, I came to my senses before I pressed record. Perhaps shooting off my mouth about how the church has hurt me might prove beneficial for me, but I have my doubts about whether it would be helpful to a wider audience. I soon realized that a more nuanced approach is required. Church hurt can take on many forms. In a short video like this, it is impossible for me to cover all aspects of church hurt, so I won't even try. I will add that if I don't mention the hurt that you are enduring, it does not detract from the seriousness of what you are going through. In an effort to be as comprehensive as possible, I found a helpful article by Pastor Dave online. The link to this article can be found in the description section of this video. I have no idea where Pastor Dave online is spiritually, but I found his article on church hurt to be quite helpful. Going forward, I will simply refer to Pastor Dave online as Dave. Misuse of authority is a huge problem within the church, as Dave correctly points out. This abuse is about power, and it is about control. Pastors feel like they are called and anointed by God to be in charge of the church. If anyone dares to challenge them, they will claim this divine authority. Dave correctly states that this creates a culture of fear and shame within the church. When a pastor claims he or she has divine authority, you are outside of God's will when you decide to question them. Spiritual abuse is the next type of church hurt that Dave mentions. While spiritual abuse is not limited to this, it is basically manipulating other church members using theological beliefs and dogma. In Dave's words, spiritual abuse creates tremendous confusion for victims over how to read the Bible, proper understandings of God and His Word, and perpetual feelings of guilt and shame. For those who live their life according to Scripture, this abuse behavior is very toxic. Next, Dave discusses SA. SA misconduct within the Roman Catholic Church is well known and well documented, but it is not only a problem within the Roman Catholic Church. Dave mentions that the Southern Baptists have been exposed for SA as well. He continues writing that no denomination is immune to it. Survivors of church SA are often ostracized and encouraged to let it go. Their abuse shouldn't prevent God from ministering through their abuser. Saying this out loud sounds barbaric, and it makes me sick, but this is the mindset. Church and political leaders are getting away with SA. We see this in the Epstein files. We see this with Donald Trump, and we have seen it through Hillsong. It is not just a Republican issue, as we have seen it with Bill Clinton, and now with Eric Swalwell. Swalwell is currently going through due process. Thus, it is too soon to suggest that his accusers have not been heard. I am hoping that the system works in Swalwell's case. If he is guilty, justice must prevail accordingly. For many reasons, survivors of SA find it difficult to come forward and report their abuse to authorities. I have already mentioned that survivors are often encouraged not to report their abuse to authorities so that the ministries and reputations of those involved will not be ruined. In the moment, survivors often feel responsible and or ashamed for what has happened to them. As a result, they do not report their abuse right away. A great deal of the time, the abusers are rich and they are powerful. As this is often the case, when survivors report the abuse, they are not believed. This makes for a toxic environment for the survivor, and therefore the survivor does not come forward. In the case of Trump and also of Brett Kavanaugh, the survivors did not come forward until decades later. In Kavanaugh's confirmation hearing, people did not believe Christine Blasey Ford. Trump, on the other hand, was found civilly liable for SA, and the jury did believe E. Jean Carroll. But there are many Americans who believe Trump over Carroll. Again, to me, that's disgusting. How could this man be president of the United States of America? Education must improve when it comes to SA. When survivors come forward, they must be taken seriously, and due process must begin regarding the allegations. Okay, I spent much longer on SA than I anticipated, but it is a major source of church hurt, and it is a major issue within our society. Financial exploitation is another major form of church abuse. Regarding financial exploitation, Dave wrote, individuals are pressured or manipulated into giving money in order to gain some specific spiritual blessing. Many are manipulated into giving more than they can afford. The PTL is an example of this. In 1989, televangelist Jim Bakker was convicted on 24 counts of federal mail fraud, wire fraud, and conspiracy. What I don't understand is how is it possible that Bakker is still on TV continuing his scam? He is a convicted felon, and he should not be allowed on TV scamming people out of their money. Bakker is an example of a televangelist who financially exploited his audience, and in my opinion, he is continuing to exploit his audience. Unfortunately, the local church is not immune to exploiting members financially. The church often teaches that when we tithe, we will be blessed in many ways. Those who adhere to the prosperity gospel believe that those who give abundantly will be blessed financially, and they will be blessed with good health. Ultimately, they will be blessed in every area of life. In essence, this is financial exploitation. Leaders manipulate their members into believing that they will receive great rewards when they tithe. This is a lie. The only people getting rich from your tithe are the church leaders. You will not get rich from tithing. Your wallet will become lighter. That is about it. Dave also covers neglect, legalism, and church conflict. To gain his full perspective, I encourage you to read the entire article. Again, the URL to his article is in the description section. I know that I've taken up enough of your time, but I would like to thank Pastor Dave Online for discussing church hurt in this way. I appreciate your honesty as you covered each abuse and your sensitivity for those who are hurting from abuse that you did not cover. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found this content helpful, I would ask that you please like this video and subscribe to Faith Challenged. Please comment and let me know where you are at with your faith. Let me know where you're at geographically and what you thought of today's video. Until next time, I'm Garth Oxner, reminding you to always think critically.